and welcome back to another episode of the Fit and Flourishing podcast. In today's episode, I want to talk about the parentified child and the relationship with weight loss, eating disorders, overeating, and binge eating. This may not seem like a connection that many people make, and that's fine, but it's one of the connections that I've made with my client in our conversations that we've had recently about why they behave the way that they do. One of the things that we know about weight loss is that it's hardly ever about the food itself, and it's usually more about the behaviors and the patterns that inform the decisions that we make around food. So today, I just want to get into some of the insights and would love to hear your thoughts below. So leave a comment and let me know what you think, if this is something that you've experienced. Let everyone know. And as you guys know, when you guys leave comments, my videos get pushed into the algorithm and more people can see them. So if you find this information helpful, please do that. All right, so let's get into the parentified child. So the definition of a parentified child is a child who is forced to take on adult responsibilities and emotional burdens before they are developmentally ready, essentially becoming a caregiver for their parents or siblings. Now, there's obviously very extreme versions of this, and there's very subtle versions of this. And with my clients, I've sort of seen both. So let me talk about the more subtle form of this. Rather than like physically, like actually becoming a caregiver for someone who is ill or something of that nature. So with most of the clients that I see who struggle with this sort of connection, the parentified child and their eating habits, it's the child who is either the oldest family member or maybe an older sibling, and they were forced for whatever reason, whether it be that, both parents were in the home or both parents were working. They were the ones who had to take care of their siblings, make sure their siblings were, fed and emotionally stable. They were the ones who were locking up at night and in the morning, and they were really acting in an adult role in their early years. Now, let me just say this right off the bat. I think responsibility is healthy and good for children. You guys know I was a teacher for 12 years. I'm a coach. I'm actually a fan of responsibility. I think it's really important that teenagers have responsibility. And yes, sometimes that includes watching siblings for a night. It's not all the time, but I don't think your children should never watch their siblings or never take care of their siblings. I think that's silly. But what I'm saying is that when this becomes chronic, that's when it's parentified. Now, I think for a variety of reasons, this affects eating. Number one, whenever you're taking care of someone, and we can speak to this as adults, whenever you're taking care of someone, you automatically have to shut down your own emotional needs because you're trying to be in tune with someone else and you're trying to look out for someone else. It can be very difficult to be in tune with your own emotional needs. Children who were parentified often were never parented themselves, because the whole point is if you're taking care of your siblings, it's probably because your parents are out of the home. So then these people did not receive the emotional, psychological support that they needed in order to learn how to deal with emotions properly. One of the other things that happens when you're taking care of another person is you don't get to be vulnerable. You don't get to express your desires, emotions, or anything, because again, your energy is spent taking care of someone else's needs. We know that it's really, really important for children to be able to experience a wide range of emotions and then have healthy examples of what to do with those emotions. It's also really important that children are able to be vulnerable with their family or with a safe adult, someone that they can talk to and share, their concerns and their fears with, and it helps them regulate their emotions. If this child has never experienced that, and then on top of that, they're going and being this parent role themselves, they were never parented, and they have also never been allowed to be a child. So the question is, how does this translate to eating and overeating and eating disorders? Number one, as I said earlier, all children need to learn healthy emotional regulation. When they do not, it typically comes out in the form of self-destructive behavior. This can be anything like drugs, alcohol, food, temper tantrums. It's always going to come out in a it typically comes out in a self-destructive way. So when an emotion rises, because a person has never learned that, okay, it's fine that you feel this thing, when an emotion arises, it becomes very scary. So the immediate response is to shut it down. If you didn't have a parent there that said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you're feeling scared. Do you need a hug? Or I'm really sorry that you're feeling this way. Or, oh my gosh, I can't imagine how upsetting that must be co-regulating with you. When a big emotion comes up, because remember, we actually feel emotions internally, it can be very scary. So we have this immense desire to shut it down immediately because we don't know that you can't die from feeling emotions. As the phrase goes, no one has ever died from feeling an emotion. People have only died trying to avoid those feelings. So children who have been parentified have never been co-regulated. They don't have anybody, and they've never had anybody to sit with them through an emotion and help them tackle those emotions. And so what we see then is we see adults who go out throughout the day. Oh my gosh, they are praised and they are valued and they are worshiped, for lack of a better term, and they are lauded for their maturity. They are lauded for their emotional control. They are lauded for their resilience. And then they go home and the emotions come back and they've never learned how to, what to do with those things. So what do? They go knee deep in a bag of chips. And then they order an extra large pizza and they eat the whole thing because they don't know what to do with those emotions because they were never taught as a child and they were never given the opportunity to just express it. Because you guys know, even just saying what you're feeling can down-regulate those feelings. Even just saying it can decrease the intensity of an emotion. And once you decrease the intensity of emotion, it doesn't seem so overwhelming. It doesn't seem like something that needs to be shut down. That vulnerability that children need to be able to experience, a person has never experienced that. So in their adulthood, they're afraid to tell people, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling nervous, I'm feeling unsure. And so what do? They eat those emotions instead. They're accustomed to being praised for being so well put together and nothing can shake you and you're so strong on the outside, but on the inside, unable to manage the emotions because they were never given the tools as a child. So, what do we do about this? Number one, you pull out your emotions wheel. That's the first thing, because the emotion wheel does not require anybody else to be around, okay? Number two, you go find a therapist. You find a healthy, good, balanced therapist or counselor who can support you through some of the grief that you may feel for never having a childhood, for some of the anger and resentment you may feel for your parents putting you in a position where you now maybe are struggling with some disease because you're overweight. You need to work through that with a therapist. But back to the the emotions wheel. Pull out your emotions wheel. And whenever you're feeling something, you look at the emotions wheel and you point to that thing and you say, I am feeling this and it will not kill me. I am feeling this and it will not kill me. It cannot hurt me that I am feeling this, but I am feeling this. And you might even take it a step further and go, I am feeling this because I am feeling frustrated because for the 50th time at work, I was talked over, I was disrespected, and it made me feel like I was unworthy, but this will not kill me, and I do not have to stuff this emotion down. That is how you use your emotions wheel. And over time, as you express those emotions, you feel a decreased need to eat or drink or have relations with someone else. Anyway, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.